Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Jada Toys Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers Player 2 Ken. This is an Entertainment Earth exclusive. I think it's still listed as pre-order right now, so they ship some out, process some orders, but it looks like they haven't gotten the bulk of it to be able to ship out to everybody or have them in stock. So link in the video description below if you want to pick it up through Entertainment Earth directly. I'm sure local shops and things like that online, you could probably find other sellers that may have it, as EE also has a distribution side and all things kind of going on there. But we have Player 2 version of Ken, which is really cool because the Player 2 versions you would think would be the exact same as the regular releases as the other Player 2 versions have, like Chun-li, M. Bison, and Ryu. But this Ken does do something a little bit differently. As you can see, the additional head sculpt that's on this side of the regular release, and then here we've got him over here because we get this new flame uppercut effect that comes with Player 2 Ken. So this is not just a straight repaint of Ken. We get an added accessory. Now that also comes along with like a $3 increase in price, I guess. Probably because of that, or just Entertainment Earth's pricing. You know, when you factor in stuff, I don't really know, but we get that uppercut flame effect, so that is really cool. And I think that's what I've seen a lot of people kind of highlight for this figure, is they really want to get that uppercut effect. And then, I mean, if you pop Ryu's head on there, it's basically like a Ryu, and you can have him with the brown gloves instead of the red. That's kind of an option if you want to kind of go that route. But Jada Toys Street Fighter figures are absolutely killing it. They're fantastic and amazing, so it's awesome. I'm all in on the line, so we now have Ken. This Wave 3, I got DJ and Cammy from Big Bad Toy Store, and Guile I will probably get in the next day or two. So let's go ahead and get into it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, as I am recording this early Thanksgiving morning, and I don't know if you guys are going to watch this on Thanksgiving because you guys have much better things to do, like spend time with family, and things like that. But if you want to check out an action figure review of an awesome figure, here we go. So that is Ken in the white. You got the uppercut effect. So here we go. Let's check him out. Hey guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're getting closer and closer to the 50,000 subscriber goal that I've set for the end of the year. With your help, we can do it. So if this is your first time here, welcome to the MCU Collector 24 channel. I do action figure reviews all the time. If you've seen any of my videos before and you're a fan and haven't already, please make sure hit that subscribe button now. Okay, so this is obviously like a super makeshift kind of little display thing I got going on here, but here we have Ken, doing the Shoryuken uppercut, with the flame effect. I guess that was introduced in this particular game, the Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers. So I just kind of have like a Human Torch here because they catch on fire when he hits them. So this is kind of what we got going on here. I wish I actually had another one of these Hasbro Pulse flight stands at the moment so I can actually put like Ken on one and make it look better instead of just kind of standing and leaning and looking a little bit odd. But that's kind of what we have going on here. And that's, again, the highlight of this particular version of Ken, the Player 2 version, because he comes with the Shoryuken flame effect. So that is really, really cool. I think that's something that people wanted the first time around that unfortunately we did not get. But now we've got it. So does it suck that you would have to get the Player 2 version to be able to get it? Yeah, it kind of does. Like I'm all in, so it's easy for me, but those that aren't not collecting the Player 2 versions, and I will show all the Player 2 versions in this particular video, that does suck. Like, why didn't it come with it the first time? I don't know if that was just, they couldn't cost it out with Jada Toys, or it was an oversight, or what the issue is, but we have it now. Now, will there be another Ken version somewhere? Maybe there's another chance to get this flame effect. Maybe another character would come with the flame effect. I'm trying to think. I don't know that there will be, but as of right now, that's the Shoryuken flame effect. That's how we get it. So you guys let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. But let's go ahead and take it in a closer look at Ken, and we'll see how he moves around. And spoiler alert, it's going to be very good. And then we will check out all the other Player 2 versions of the Jada Toys Street Fighter figures. Okay, so here's an up-close look at Ken. This is the angry faces you could see there with the teeth and showing and everything. So that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and pop this off and put the regular one on there. You could see it looks like the whole head sculpt is painted. It's all white plastic and the whole thing's painted. I'm a little surprised at that. I guess they wanted real clean white for the teeth and the eyes. Not really sure. But though that head sculpt actually popped on a bit weird. Like you really have to force it like further down, like it just goes on there and like oh, there we go. But that's kind of high on the neck. So you really want to force it down down all the way. And then here's kind of the smiling Ken, and that looks pretty good. These are the same head sculpts that we got in the regular release, and I will, I probably should have taken that out of the package already. I will pull that out here in a bit so we can do the comparison and look at kind of the differences with the paint apps. It looks like we get some heavier shading on this one compared to the well, I guess the shading is the same. It's a slightly different shade though. We get more pinkish colors in the shading between the muscles on this Ken, whereas the regular version, Player 1 version, it's more of an orange color as opposed to the pinkish color. We got his white gi this time. That's the difference this go around. Instead of the red gi, it does not have the torn pant leg and the torn shoulders like Ryu does. So that is the difference there. And if you'll notice, you see some kind of dark spots on some of the folds and creases of the gi. So we get some shading in there, and that looks pretty good. I like it. It really helps bring out the details. And so when you have like bright light, you can actually see that there's folds and stuff in the gi. So very realistic looking. So that is really cool that we get that. We actually get some on the back of the gi as well. So that is really nice. You see that same shading in the arms. There we got the brown gloves going on there. Paint apps on my right arm are not all that great though. As you can see, like they should have painted that edge brown because they did it on the left arm. On the right arm, not so much. So that kind of sucks. But nothing like too crazy or anything like that. I can live with that. The gi is removable if you want, so you could just kind of pop out that belt. You can open this up, pull that out, and then bam, you could see the articulation set up in there. And then obviously you could take the gi off if you want. And then to put this all back on, these pieces are very rubbery, so easily you could just fold that right up. Wait, hold on. I think I did the wrong order. You could fold this gi right back over, right into the peg. You can get that belt right into there, and then loop around, pop that right back on, and bam, we are all set back up with his gi. So in addition to the Shoryuken flame effect, as you can see here, which is really good, and you just slide his arm right on in there, and then you got that space there so you can bend the elbow, which is good. So you got the Shoryuken, and then you got the is it the Hadouken, right? And then you actually have the hands in there because that's how he fires them off, which is really cool. So this is just the flame color, which is nice. You also get the stand piece that you will allow you to kind of set set this up. Where's the peg hole? There's a peg hole somewhere. There's a peg hole there, so you can peg that in, and then you can have that going out, and you can get Ken to fire that off. So that is always really cool. I like that we can do that. And then we get the additional hands for the Hadouken, right? I think that's how you say it. Is it Hadouken? I don't want to say it wrong. But that's where you get these extra hands, so you can actually position the hands in a way that he's actually firing this off, like you see the hands in there. So that's everything that Ken comes with. So now let's go ahead and check out his articulation. And again, it's really good. Okay, so Ken's articulation can look up somewhat, but he can definitely look down a lot more. His hair hits the gi, and that's what's really stopping it. But the head moves, you can get a swivel in there, and then the neck itself moves, so it could allow you some pivot and things like that going on there. The arm you can get to go straight on out like so, which is great. You get a full rotation in that arm. You got a butterfly joint in there. The gi does hinder it a little bit, so just a heads up, but you can get the arm to go back a little bit. And then coming forward, it doesn't come a huge amount forward, but the gi is going to kind of get in the way a little bit, preventing a little bit of crossbody, as you can see there. You got the upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow gives you that much bend there. It is pinless joints on these guys. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on the fists as well as the open hands or gesturing hands. There. You get the diaphragm cut on Ken, and you have a ball joint waist. So in total, you can get him to lean to his left that much, which is really good. Even with the gi on, that's pretty good. You can get him to lean to his right that much there. You can lean back so far, but the gi is going to prevent that quite a bit. And then coming forward, he can come forward really far, which is great. You get a swivel at that ball joint waist. You could probably swivel at the diaphragm. I just can't really get to that right now. Legs go out that far apart. That is insane. As you can see there, he can kick forward very far, which is great. The leg goes back very far, which is awesome. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there at the knee. Thick pants. So thick pants, knees tend to not be great. These ones aren't the perfect, but they're definitely better than we see, especially with like Marvel Legends. They do a terrible job with like thick pants on the knees. Jada Toys much better. It looks a little bit cleaner. It's a little flat there, but it definitely looks better. We don't get like sharp edges or anything. It's very curved at the two leg parts, which is nice. This lower leg portion that is exposed there, you get a swivel in there. You can hinge the foot down, you can hinge the foot up, and you have ankle pivot, and you got peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And then looking at the feet, you could really see, the heavy shading that they do in some areas. It's very pink looking there. So there we go with the articulation for Ken. Of course, it's going to be very, very good. So now let's go ahead and see full-on comparison with the Player 1 version of Ken to see the full differences between the two as opposed to just the white gi. Again, the shading is a little different. Okay, so here we have our side-by-side with the two Kens, and as you can see, they're essentially the same exact figure. A couple of noticeable differences just, again, in the kind of the shading and the muscle definition. It's a little bit more subtle on the Player 2 version, like on the arms especially. Like his chest, it's I would say it's actually more noticeable. It's kind of weird. But we get different color shading, so it's kind of more of a pinkish color here, where this is more of an orangish color. But like if you look at the arms, you could really tell on Ken, it really stands out quite a bit more, I think, on the Player 1 version versus the Player 2 version. Let's go ahead and zoom in a bit. Let me see if I got positioning right. I have to go up a little bit. So you could just see, again, more of an orange color versus more of a pinkish color in the arms. You could really see a difference. Much more subtle on the arms versus on the Player 1 version. So those are our two versions of Ken. The hair is a little isn't as bright a yellow, I would say. This one's definitely a brighter yellow on the hair. But that's it as far as the differences, and then we get the added Shoryuken. Ken, he did have some shading in his gi. It's definitely more noticeable on the white, obviously, versus the red. But we do get it. It's just, again, you can't really tell nearly as much. So, essentially the same exact figure. Now, I have seen people say something about wanting like a brown glove version of Ryu. As you can see, Ryu essentially shares a lot of the same parts. The difference is the lower legs, because we get the ripped gi like here at the shoulders and then the legs. But they're essentially, basically the same. So what you could do, I'm sure there's a way to swap out some of these parts. Like you could probably pop the legs if you like. I don't know. I mean, skin tone wise, I don't know if you could just like pop the waist at the torso off at the waist or something. I mean, you could just do a head swap. I don't think it's necessarily quite as easy as that to say like, oh, I got Ryu with the brown gloves now. I mean, it works, as you can see there, but it's not exactly the same, because there are some differences with Ryu. Again, the ripped gi, his belt sash, as you can see, has some writing on there, but you want like kind of the ripped look for it. So if you swap out like the arms and then maybe swap out the feet, I don't know how you would really do it, but it's not as easy, because the arms aren't the same skin tone color, so you can't just like swap the arms. You need to swap several different pieces. Obviously this gi would be easier because you could take it off and you could swap it. It's the leg part that's going to be the tricky thing, but if that's something that you want to do, you could do that. I mean, this works by itself also. It's just not completely accurate. Okay, so you can see here when we put the flame effect, the Hadouken, flame effect here with Ken, you got that going, and that looks really good. You could get the arms together somewhat so he can actually looks like, he's shooting, firing the fireball, shooting the fireball, throwing the fireball, blasting. I don't know how you would put it. And then you could always, have your second character there that's either going to just take it or try to block it or jump out of the way, move around, however you want to do it. But that's what we got going on for Ken, and I think it's all really good stuff. Now let's go ahead and see all the Player 2 versions together. As I am all on the line, I have them all, but you guys will give me your thoughts on the Player 2 versions. Okay, so here we have the entire Player 2 version lineup. We have the Target exclusive red Chun-Li. We got the San Diego Comic-Con / Jada Next Level Player 2 pink Chun-Li. We've got now the Entertainment Earth Player 2 Ken. We've got the Paul Mart Store exclusive Ryu. And then we have the Big Bad Toy Store 25th Anniversary exclusive Player 2 M Bison. So we have the 5 Player 2 versions that have released so far. Chun-Li getting 2 was a bit of an odd choice, but they're kind of cool. I like like the colors on them. I think there's an image of a Fei Long floating around. It's like a deluxe version in like the purple pants. I think that's the player 2 version. I don't think that's officially, quote unquote, officially been revealed, and no word on what's going on with that, where that's going to be, how that's going to release, or anything. Unless I completely missed like an official, quote unquote, official announcement. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the player 2 versions? I know a lot of people are passing on them, but they're really cool. I really like them. The Jada Toys Street Fighter line is pretty awesome. These figures are really highly articulated, really well sculpted. They got some awesome paintwork on there. So a lot of really good stuff. Jada Toys even like switched factories at some point and even went back and reproduced the Wave 1 figures. So like the original Chun-Li, the original Fei Long, and the original Ryu had updated paint apps and everything, and just looks so much better. So they're even like looking at improvements on older figures and things. So yeah, awesome stuff. So links in the video description below to each. I don't know if the pink Chun-Li is still available. M. Bison's still in stock. Ryu is probably still in stock. I don't know if Chun-Li ever actually went up at Target online or not. And then, you know, player 2 Ken, I don't think he's listed as in stock at the moment, but I'll have a link in the video description below for him if you're looking to pick it up. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on the Jada Toys Street Fighter line? What are your thoughts on the player 2 versions, easy passes for you or must pickups? I'm all in on the line. When they're doing something really good and you get some really good action figures in there, I don't mind that they're repaints, because, you know, in the game you could select the same character and you can have a player 2 version that's in different colors and things. So I think that's kind of cool. Hopefully we don't see like multiple player 2 options like with Chun-Li. Hopefully we just get like the standard first one, but I think each one had like 8 different color variations, so it's something that we could see, and they seem to be exclusives to somewhere. So, you know, GameStop would probably make the most sense in terms of getting another exclusive, like a color variant. But which character would you like to see? I'm excited for the additional characters that are going to be coming out. Again, Guile is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store if you're looking to pick him up. It is on the way. I think mine arrives hopefully tomorrow, Friday, or Saturday. DJ and Cammy are going to be coming up next. I think Cammy's going to be the next review, so stay tuned for that. But give me all your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.